Good afternoon, successful graduates from the Master en Dirección de Supply Chain, Master of Engineering in Logistics and Supply Chain Management, and PhD also in Logistics and Supply Chain Management. Good afternoon also to all your proud family members, professors, and distinguished guests. Mrs. Maite Galvez, General Manager of Research and Innovation in the Government of Aragon, Professor Josie Jeffy, Director in the MIT Center of Transportation and Logistics, and Professor Ismael Jimenez, Vice Director, University of Zaragoza. And thank you, Maria Jesus, for your wonderful introduction, and also for giving me the great honor, as well as the chance, to be part of this really moving day at Zaragoza. When I started to think, what should I say to you today, I have asked myself what I wish I had known if I were you today, and also what important lessons I have learned in my career. But careful, do not forget that what I'm going to tell you is my personal experience, and that any past performance is not guarantee of future results. I've decided not to talk to you about supply chain. No, you have had enough lessons and information on that. I will only mention two things. The first thing is, to me, is crucial to have a clear commercial understanding to become a good supply chain professional. You have always to have in mind the specific business model of your company, and each company has a different business model, and to understand how supply chain will better support the business goals. And the second thing is that the challenges today in the supply chain, at least in a global fashion retail company that I lead, are not only costs and working capital control, but agility or speed, synchronization, flexibility, risk mitigation, traceability or sustainability. Very different from the challenges I faced when I started my career. So I decided to talk to you on how to build a successful career. I thought that if I were you, I would like to know how to be successful and how did I make it, if I made it. So first I have to tell you what success to me is. Many years ago, I discovered from a quote from an advertising executive with hopes that I've adopted. Success is waking up in the morning and bounding out of bed because there's something out there that you love to do, that you believe in, that you are good at, something that is bigger than you are, and you can hardly wait to get at it again. Maybe the only thing that is missing in this definition is that it should be something you can make a living out of it, of course, no? But having said that, I have 5 main advices for you today. So the first one is, you need to find your passion. I'm passionate about my job. I've always been. And my job has evolved along the years. At the beginning, I didn't have a dream to become an engineer or a logistician or now the CEO of a very big company. But I love challenges, I love learning, and I love change. Truth is that I really studied engineering just because it was very difficult and few people succeeded, and also because I have to leave my small hometown, La Coruña, to go to the School of Engineering, so it was really an adventure. No? So I became industrial engineer, specialized in mechanics, but when I started to work in an engineering company during my last year of the school, I discovered that I missed a lot the contact with people, And I wanted to travel to get to know the world. So I joined Procter & Gamble because they offer extensive training and also an international career. But I didn't know much about logistics or supply chain. I went first to a factory they had in Córdoba, and then to a factory in Barcelona, when I was responsible firstly for supply planning and production scheduling, and then for a full production unit. I learned really a lot that. And that was always the case along my career. Opportunities that appear, and I was ready to take. Because, and this is my second advice, I think that long-term career planning is useless. But you have to be always ready to identify and to take the good opportunities that it will appear. So in this world we live in, long-term is not more than 5 years. So 10 years ago, any good analyst would have advised you to invest in Nokia or IBM or Microsoft or Yahoo or even Lehman Brothers. Not because they thought that Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, Uber, or Twitter were not a good investment, but because those companies 10 years ago were almost non-existent. So you don't need to already know today what are you going to do with the rest of your life. But you are the only responsible for your career, and you will have to make all the decisions. I was offered one in P&G to become supply chain manager in Scandinavia. And after carefully considering it, I refused. I was afraid that I would not have a good opportunity again. But shortly after that, I was offered a similar position in Lisbon, in Portugal, and it was a great experience, and the place where I got to know the ECR movement. You will have to follow your intuition. But more than that, you have to take on the challenges and also learn to fail or to have a high threshold for frustration. In the factory, after my first 3 years and a very good performance, I asked for an international assignment, any place. And I was told, your English is not good enough, and you know nothing. We only send abroad people that can add value. So I felt really frustrated for that, but this answer was really an incentive for me to accelerate my learning English and to volunteer to have the most difficult job at the plant, and after that, in Madrid headquarters. It took me 3 years more to achieve my first international assignment, but I did it. This links with the third message I'd like to share with you. It's very positive to be curious and have a learning attitude. Very, very important. I always had a strong desire to learn, to know, and to understand from all sources in all senses. For instance, languages. I speak Spanish, English, and Portuguese, but I'm still taking lessons today of French once per week, and my schedule is terrible, but this is important. And lately, I'm thrilled about the digital world and the technology in general and everything related to omnichannel. Omnichannel is one of the 3 key strategies of my current company, Grupo Cortefiel. It means, as you know, offering our consumers a seamless, personalized, and enjoyable purchasing experience across channels, offline, online. This is a new world, and we all are learning by experimenting and by listening to our customers. I also try to learn from the pure online firms and from the technology people. My fourth message is about people. You are not alone in a company. You are yourself and your team. When I join a new company, there's always a non-negotiable condition. That is, I should be able to choose my team. In the last 3 companies I worked, my teams were global, and that adds a lot of complexity. You have to maintain a close contact with them despite the distance and the time zones. And above all, you have to understand the diversity. And believe me, it's very different to motivate a person in India or in Hong Kong or in California. Very different. It is important to find the right people, but after that, they also have to stay and to work well together. Therefore, I never, ever delegated recruiting. Recruiting, I do it personally. And I always try to know better my people and what is important for them. It is crucial to be proactive with feedback, both informal and formal. And I also recommend to show and share enthusiasm, celebrate success, and reward people. And finally, my 5th advice, and this is the last one, has to be with something I consider essential in business. You have to build your invisible business card. It is built with your behavior and with your actions along the years, and should be based on your values. In my case, I consider essential my reputation regarding the integrity, ethics, honesty, loyalty, equity, respect, or humility. So as a summary, my 5 advices for you today are: find your passion, enjoy what you do, get good at it. Second, be always ready to take good opportunities. Third, learn, listen, understand, improve, and focus on. Fourth, you are yourself and your team. And the 5th, build your reputation and stick to your values. And this is it. Congratulations. I wish you the best. Have a great life and very good luck.